Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Alamoudi,
And my name is Marvin Legaspi.
and today we're talking about genetic drift. To start with, genetic drift is a totally random event that causes the allele frequency in a population to change unpredictably. Key points about genetic drift. First, it's totally random. So unlike natural selection, although genetic drift is an evolutionary mechanism, it does not produce adoption. And second, it reduces genetic variation. So, the fewer copies of an allele present in a population, the greater effect genetic drift will have. So, over here we have an example of two types of spiders, the red and black ones. Fire engulfed the spiders and it reduced the variation, ended up having less blacks and more reds. Finally, there are two specific circumstances in genetic drift.
The first circumstance of genetic drift is population bottleneck. So, when the population goes through a huge change that drastically reduces population, there will be a change in the frequency of alleles. Endangered and threatened species are a textbook case of human-induced bottleneck. Also, it is caused by catastrophes, natural or man-made events. Secondly, it lowers genetic variability, which lowers resistance to disease and the ability to cope with the environmental change. So here's an example of population bottleneck. As you can see here, a jar consisting of three different shapes, being a direct square, triangle, and circle. And this represents the parent population. And then this leads to, it undergoes the process of the bottleneck, which, as you can see here, in which you take the jar of representing the parents and dump the population into a beaker, which represents the bottleneck, and this signifies a drastic reduction in the population. This then leads to a survival of consisting of a population of surviving individuals that is left, and that serves as the ancestor for the next generation, as you can see in this one. The second circumstance in genetic drift is the founder effect. The founder effect is a special type of bottleneck when a small number of a population splinter off. It can lead to high numbers of recessive alleles in new population, and it can also be a driving force in development of new species. So here's an example of the founder effect. As you can see here, you have an original population consisting of three shapes: the triangle, square, and the circle. And then a small group of the population splinter off, as you can see here, consisting of the shapes square and the circle. This will then, splintering off will then lead to the formation of the founder population consisting of the squares and the circles. As previously mentioned, the founder population can serve as a driving force for the development of a new population, as is seen here, which is represented by the development of the new species, or also known as the descendant of the founder population.